Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Wednesday, September 10, 2025. And in the news this evening, police identify murder suspect fatally shot in 4-hour standoff, cops commented. Police on Wednesday morning identified the man behind a 4-hour standoff with the security forces as the leadership of the Manchester Police commended its personnel for their bravery during the dramatic incident on Tuesday. Police named the suspect killed as Alfonso Wilson, otherwise called the Brown Man, 54, a deportee, unemployed, of a Caledonia Road apartment. Highly placed police sources said Tuesday's sequence of events started shortly after 7 a.m. when the armed suspect got into an altercation, reportedly over the price of eggs, with another man. Police theorized that the suspect shot the man in his upper body. The injured man, who police identified as Adrian Bernard, reportedly drove a Toyota Corolla after he was shot up on Caledonia Road before crashing into the back of a Toyota Prado. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police then went to Wilson's Caledonia Road apartment. There, the authorities said Wilson fired at the security forces from a ground-floor apartment at the front of the complex. 2 armored vehicles and a truck had to be used to breach the premises and remove a grill during the security forces' entry. Police said a multi-caliber Omni-hybrid rifle, 1 Beretta pistol with an extended magazine, and over 450 assorted rounds were taken from the premises. Head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Kerry Duncan, who led the operation, in a statement to police personnel, commended his team for their bravery during the incident. Commendation all around for the display of bravery, resilience, and above all, a very high level of professionalism in executing our mandate to serve and to protect, he said. He commended the Manchester Traffic Department for quickly observing the circumstances surrounding the crash and alerting the Mandeville police. He also lauded the division's Operations Support Team, Community Safety Security Branch, and the Criminal Investigation Branch. The police had to call in for support from other security force groups, including the Jamaica Constabulary Forces, Specialized Operations, Counter-Terrorism, and the Organized Crime Investigation Branch, Area Fugitive Apprehension Team, and the military. Missing goat farmer found dead in shallow grave. A 75-year-old goat farmer who had been reported missing since September 1 has been found dead. He is Leslie Roberts of Bull Bay, St. Andrew. Roberts' body was reportedly discovered in a shallow grave in the Baito district, 9 miles in Bull Bay, on Monday, September 8. Relatives reported Roberts missing on the day of his disappearance, prompting an investigation into his disappearance. The search, which led to the discovery of his body, also initiated a separate but related police operation in the Baito district on September 2, the police said. During this operation, 2 men were shot and killed in a confrontation with the police. One of the men, identified as Kimon Foreman, was named the prime suspect in Roberts' disappearance. He was also wanted in connection with a shooting incident in the Kingston East area. The second man remains unidentified. A rifle and a pistol were seized at the scene. Days later, a joint effort between the Kingston East Police, the K9 Division, and residents of Bull Bay led to the discovery of Roberts' body. The scene was processed and the body was removed to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Police are urging anyone with additional information to contact the Ellerton Road Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-928-4200, Crime Stop at 311, the National Intelligence Bureau at 811, the Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Dispute in St. Catherine leaves man dead, another injured. Detectives assigned to the St. Catherine North Police Division are probing the murder of an unidentified man and the wounding of another this morning. Reports are that about 9:10 a.m. on Wednesday, a man, the deceased, and another man believed to be his brother, were involved in a dispute in Jericho District in Linstead, St. Catherine. The altercation turned violent when a sharp instrument was used to inflict wounds on both men. They were taken to the Linstead Hospital, where one was pronounced dead and the other admitted for treatment. No motive has been established. The Linstead Criminal Investigation Branch is investigating. Mandeville residents alarmed by shootout. Residents of Mandeville are expressing shock and concern following a prolonged shootout between security forces and an armed man at the apartment complex on Caledonia Road on Tuesday. Reports are that sometime around 10 a.m., police personnel were in the vicinity of the apartment complex when a shooting occurred. Several shots were fired at what appeared to be a standoff occurred between the armed assailant and the members of the security forces. Mandeville resident King described the incident as unprecedented in the normally quiet community.
Yeah, about the movie The Eat, blazing gunshot at least 3 hours. So, the hottest thing we ever seen in Mandeville. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for the parish. It's not a good thing for Christians. Mandeville nowhere at all. We're not celebrating the but enough man to celebrate and I say, wow, he's bad in this, but Uncle Zen has a movie, so we don't want to see it again.
How do you describe this community that all of this happened?
Very peaceful community, the most peaceful environment in Mandeville. So we're not used to them yourself. Yeah, we're not used to them yourself. A movie alone we see them yourself. We don't want to train we youth them to grow up a bus gunshot after police.
This is not what you want them to come and see.
No. Everybody are going like it's a movie thing, not going like say yo, it's right. You understand? No, we don't like them or something.
Another resident, Everton Nathan, who has been living in the community for over 40 years, said this was the first time he had witnessed something like the shooting that took place.
You know, this is the first time witnessing anything like this. I've been in Mandeville for quite a few years. I was born here, but I've been living in Mandeville for almost 40 something years now. And this is the first time I'm witnessing something like this in our community. I think it's getting bad, and you know, as citizens, we all need to come together to kind of get these type of people out of. I heard that it was somebody who came from abroad. It was a deportee. And based on what I'm hearing, it's somebody that have been living among us for a very long time. And based on the fact, the way he behaved, you wouldn't have known that this person would have done an act like this. You know, so we have, as citizens, we have to be careful, and we need to, you know, support each other and make sure we know what is what and who is who. Basically, I'm just coming from home. I was at home, and my son lives abroad, and he sent me something, and I called a friend who lives very close by. And he said I should come to see what is happening here. When I came, I couldn't believe the amount of police that I saw, the SWAT team. I could not believe that this is going on right here in our backyard.
Would frightening be an appropriate way to describe it?
It is more than frightening, it's alarming.
St. Andrew High School denies barring students from school for baby hairstyle. Kiva Ingram, principal of St. Andrew High School for Girls, has denied that the students are being barred from entering the school because of the wearing of edges baby hairstyle. Reports of the banning of the hairstyle have sparked a widespread attention at home and abroad, circulating on several US-based social media platforms, with users expressing mixed reactions, some in support and others questioning the move. Ingram, speaking Tuesday with the news, explained that the ban followed concerns raised by some parents, while stressing that the school's primary focus remains on developing future leaders.
My girls would be spending minutes in the bathroom between classes to fix the edges. Parents gave me feedback that the girls were spending 30-40 minutes in the morning to do the edges. When the edges came out, I spoke to the girls. I said, ladies, are we going to have a problem? Some of them said, miss, we're going to have a problem. The girls are not going to exercise the self-control that you're expecting. We are focused on well-rounded leaders. That's what we are grooming and developing at St. Andrew. We are focusing on their fourfold development. This thing with the edges, it wasn't a big deal for us. We never had any issues. We never had any girls that were locked out. We never do that, and we never had any issues with it.
The Jamaica Youth Advocacy Network has condemned any draconian measure against the students for breaches of school for uniform or grooming infractions, arguing that it endangers the students, disrupts education, and is disproportionate. Policy and Advocacy Coordinator Shanil Allen also spoke with the news, urged the Ministry of Education to limit such punishments and instead promote child-centered approaches to discipline. On Monday, the Ministry of Education announced that it was investigating reports of students being locked out of schools across the island as the 2025-2026 academic year began. These students were reportedly barred for breaching uniform and grooming guidelines.
We also take issue with the fact that the National School Grooming Policy is not yet finalized and that the directives from the ministry have not been standardized, right? So it's just very general, and schools can sort of choose how they comply and how they sort of act within the very broad guidelines that they've been given. So we're saying that we need the policy to be formalized and so schools can understand that these are the things that we're not allowing. And among the things that we don't think the ministry should allow is for students to be turned away. And the ministry has said to schools, you should not be turning away students for any reason at all, but yet still we see that.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.